October 16th, 2025. Yesterday on the 15th, we went to Altman Hospital, and there was a lady in there, and she's like, that's the one that there was a lot of fraud on her. The hospital and everyone was grateful and thankful that she never sued anybody. Nobody would ever say a word. Another lady later on had walked by that I heard her say, told those people all that stuff was fraud before. Okay? Oh, it's documented fraud. In October, November of 2002, before I would let those doctors do brain surgery on me, because they said I had level 2 brain tumors and all this other horrible stuff. I went in and talked to my community health. The doctor's like, whoa, we need to have a long talk what those doctors are doing. They're known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, draining their insurance company like checking accounts, getting kickbacks from drug companies, sharing with their associates and friends doing the same thing, making people so sick they do unnecessary procedures. You need to get an attorney and sue them. We'll even represent you in court. These doctors have almost killed you. And it's a medicine making you sick. They have defrauded you. And it's rolled up as fraud. Medical malpractice and medication errors. And they didn't say allergic reaction. They said medication errors. Like they said, medication errors means false diagnosis and wrong meds. And they almost killed me. And it took me 9 months to get well. Okay? Well, last year, about this time, I got bit by a dog real bad. And I had to have a couple CAT scans on my stomach. And the one radiologist was talking to someone and said the hospital made a lot of mistakes with her. No one's ever say a word. Well, December 30th, 23, or 31st, 23, nurses were talking. My God, no one will ever back those doctors from before. They're all known for lying, falsely diagnosed, or they're all, let me start over again. No one will ever back those doctors from before. My God, they were lying so bad they said she had brain tumors. There's nothing wrong with her but her muscles locked up. And they caused all that. No one's going to back anybody lying, falsely diagnosing someone, ripping them off, and defrauding them. And it's a medication error making her sick. No one's going to back that. 2 guys walked by and one said, I'm assigned to watch her at night. He said, all those doctors were lying before? He said, yes. Was the medicine making her sick? Well, the FBI and investigators had to go with me to the doctor in 18th, first month of the case. What do you think my community health said? You know, all those doctors from before were all lying, falsely diagnosing you. They were defrauding you. Was the medicine making you sick? The only thing that was wrong with you was your muscles locked up and they were all lying, ripping you off in front of them. It's rolled up as fraud. That's where, this last week when I was down in Carrollton, some lady was talking, said we talked to the police. They said no one should ever worry about her being out anywhere. She's part of a case. That her whole family was taped defending her. The other ones taped saying they made everything up. Nobody ever got hurt. These people were taped admitting they drugged her and told her to say stuff, photoshopped everything. And she's a victim of medical fraud. They think her ex-husband had those doctors do it to her. See, that's what they said a couple years ago. There's no way those doctors didn't know they weren't killing her. With her whole body swelling up, her having seizures, heart attacks, and everything shut down, and it took another doctor to tell on them. Oh, and then one to verify it. And then proven when I got off the medication over 9 months, I slowly got well. Where Officer Mark in August of 23 on a Tuesday between noon and 1. He said, none of this is funny. He said, did our ex-husband defend her? He said, yes, we taped him. So did I. He said, she said, did anybody ever talk to her? He said, no. Then they had to have framed her. It's documented and verified she was framed before. Was it the drug cartel? Yes, we've seen them. He said it's also documented and verified it was medication errors that made her sick before. And another woman was even using her insurance. She's like, none of this is funny. He said, I know it's not. Okay? That's where in September 23, they said some people walking by up in Akron where I was sitting outside with a client said some of the drug dealers don't even find this funny anymore. She do anything wrong? No. The drug dealers already confessed they photoshopped everything, made everything up on her, made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? Don't know. But none of this is funny. I even went to her ex-husband, asked him if they ever did say it was the medication errors that made her sick before. He said yes. And encouraged them to sue those other doctors for years. Oh, my community health offered to go to court and represent us because they almost killed me. They said those doctors are known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, making them sick, draining their insurance company like a checking account, getting kickbacks from drug companies, sharing it with associates and friends, doing the same thing. You're not the first one. You're not the only one I've heard of them doing this to. Get an attorney and sue them. We'll even go to court with you. We'll represent you. They've almost killed you. Turn them over to the state, and so they pulled their license. It's documented fraud. They were defrauding you, ripping you off. The only thing that's wrong with you is your muscles locked up from all those surgeries. Okay. In the last few days, I heard someone say a comment where they made it last year, where Michelle is the guy from Maslin's daughter. Okay. In 19, at Faith Family Church, she told everybody she was George Peters' daughter from Florida. And those people that were hurting me were there. The fake Portage County Sheriff's, a fake FBI agent that tortured me. And they said they worked for George Peters and they were from Florida. And she told people she was George Peters' daughter. About a year ago, they were saying Michelle did all this to take over the cartel. Well, that's a lie. She works with a guy that helps people get away with crimes in Maslin. And where he was telling people he was an agent over my case, he's not. He's a guy from Maslin that helps the cartel get away with crimes. Like they said, it's sad. People had to finally come up and tell her who was doing it. Well, if you put the different times that it's supposed to be him that showed up. See, I've never met him in person. December 18th, 24. Walmart 62, two men walk in. Karen didn't know who Michelle was until February 19. No, I made sure of it. These people said she threatened her, and if she threatened her, I didn't care what happened to her. And she didn't know who she was? No. Until she knows herself. Still never talked to her. Okay? I told the drug dealer at that Beth that after everything he had done to her, no one had ever wanted her again. I told him leave her alone. I found out Karen's getting remarried. I knew she had it in her. Okay, now you go to January 5th, 25. Some investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied that she was weird with herself to a U.S. Marshal. They were lying to them. We always knew it was photoshopped or washing herself in the shower. We always knew they drugged her and told her to say it before. We have the agent over her case taped saying he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter. So it's his daughter. He's not the agent on my case, though. Okay? Was the FBI getting even with her, thinking she threatened one of their kids to find out she didn't even know who she was? Do they realize how not funny this is? Now you go January 30th, 25. Walmart 62, hotbed cesspool. Right? They keep their tapes for years. Comes in with another guy that been following me in Carrollton. Okay? Said, he walked in and said, I already told these people I didn't find any of this funny. When I found out she didn't even know who Michelle was. And he said, I found out Terry Coverly seen her almost kidnapped. I really feel bad about everything. I found out it was medication errors that made her sick before. I really feel bad. I already told her when her ex-husband called down to my office, I told him to tell him that I wasn't there anymore. And that the police said she had rights and no one would say a word to her. Ooh, he was in it with my ex-husband. Supposed to be his daughter, so that's Michelle Diesel's ex-girlfriend. Where they kept saying in 1819, what's that guy's problem in masculine helping people get away with crimes? They can't, he can't do this. Why is he involving himself in crimes? And then people have come up and said, it's that attorney's office involved. And that they already, Melissa, my ex-daughter-in-law, and Dave, they were part of the people they hired to do all this to me. They already knew each other. When they hired those people to harm me, where I was almost kidnapped, almost carjacked, the Florida drug cartel. The weird people showing up in like that restaurant. Does he think it's funny being here rams her body in the back of the booth? Who is that? I don't know. Who are those people? I don't know. Keeps ramming her body in the back of the booth, and I had to sit over the side with Dave, and he wraps her. Are you okay? I said, yeah. Who are those people? I don't know. And they were one that said it. 3 mean parents waiting for me to die for my injuries. Showed up later in the case. Were there 6 months before the case started. Where I was almost kidnapped, then almost carjacked. Okay. Where January 13th, 23. Actually, well, we'll go ahead and do that one, then I'll go back further. I met with my friend Maddie out in Worcester. He said, I work in a factory, but I race horses professionally. And on the racetrack, there's drug dealers. I know someone who knows someone that knows one, so I went to him. Said, he's 2.5 hours away. He said, I asked him if they knew what was going on here. He said, yes. He said, all the Ohio drug dealers know that you didn't know that agent over your case was in debt to those drug dealers. That's why all this happened. I'm busy for a second. Okay. And that they were lost my train of thought. Sorry. That you didn't know that agent or your case was in debt to those drug dealers. And the Ohio drug dealers were so mad he let all those people be human trafficked. They were so angry, they were threatening that agent's life. I'm like, whoa, I don't believe in violence, but if he did this because he's in debt to drug dealers and he's arrested, he'll be silly. Well, it's not me, it was them saying it. I was just telling you what they said. Then I said again how I don't believe in violence, but if he needs arrested. Okay? And on January 6th, 23, I went up to Jack's Casino in Cleveland. Okay? People walking around. I only took $20 with me. Okay? Because if I'm going to lose, I'm only going to lose $20. Person I was with is sitting around gambling. I'm only going to lose my $20 and I'll walk around. Okay? There's this huge guy. He has his back to me. I was on the phone with someone. It's that Karen's will. That is because of all this is happening. And no one's helping her because of that Karen's will. Do we got a man to take care of this? Well, within 2 weeks, there was a drive-by shooting in Florida. A lot of people were killed. And on the news, they said it was a drug war between Ohio and Florida. Okay? January 20th, 23, I met with Matt again on Worcester. We go in, and there's a lot of vehicles there. A lot of people are sitting out in their cars. We go in, and all these men follow him, sit down around me. Thought you're not my regulars. He said, I have a friend on the police department. And I'm looking around. I thought you brought your police department. He brought the U.S. Marshals. He said, my friend on the police department knows about the case that agent opened with you. He knew about the Texas group involved in your case. I'm like the Kingsman, because that's what I call them. Because they would show up. We all work for the King from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. If you look him up, he's a fentanyl king. He's real. Just like George Peters from Florida was arrested by the FBI in 22. 100 men. His part that wasn't arrested is still here in Ohio. Okay? Said there was a retired judge in Texas involved in this, and they went down in this human trafficking scam. They went down to question me, killed himself. There's another retired judge involved in this, and he said the state. They're watching me for response. We go back and forth, and he drills me till I'm stuttering. I walk outside. These men follow me out where the U.S. Marshals will be taking care of this. He said that agent left her there. Can you imagine? He left her there. He said he left her there because she's worried with herself. Who would care if she was? And it was probably them and not me. Or it was probably them and not her. It was them and not me. They photoshopped him. November 18th, 22, Eric, one of the drug dealers they all talked about. They said it was him later on Thanksgiving of 18. Thanksgiving of 22. So November 18th, 22, this guys walk in to Walmart 62. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it. My idea to do it. My idea to say it. For all these people to turn around, they fell for it. Screaming and mocking everybody. Thanksgiving of 22, I was in Mercy Medical. I had food poisoning. And they were talking about everyone hearing that Eric make fun of everyone for falling for it. Christmas Eve of 22, before I go over to Danny and Jen's, I went to Dollar Tree. Okay. There's an investigator watching me talking on the phone. Okay. He said, what do you mean some guy showed up and said he's Karen's? Well, you're kidding with all this going on. We already got the one guy's confession. Everything was him. Oh, and he wants to say he was part of it? Yeah, I'll interview him. Or I'll talk to him. I go to Danny and Jen's and I confront them if they knew about button cameras. They didn't. If they knew about a shower scene in the other room to make me look weird with myself, or washing that people are making fun of me in stores, they photoshopped that. They didn't know anything. I said, do you remember the orange, lemon, grapefruit size bruises all over me, almost passing out even outside in front of the neighbor by the second week? Yeah, I remember that. Did you know they were drugging me and beating on me and supposed to have told me to say weirdo molester stuff, and they're laughing at me in stores? They were doing it to me. I said, did you know that was causing it? She's like, no, I thought you were working too hard and boozy too easy. I didn't think of someone hurting you. Yeah, they weren't part of it. They didn't know anything. And I asked her if she knew about that weird Eric they're all talking about. They made fun of everybody. She's like, no, but if he confessed, he's probably long gone. The kids came out of the room, hugged me. Grandma was that, what's going on? We didn't know. Okay. Now I want you to think of September 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning. My car is parked by the FBI and police for the case. That biker bringing Michelle down. Guys running it said that no one's ever say a word to her again. This whole thing is a debt. Your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that the truth? Yes. I'm sorry. Does she even know who you are? No. I don't want her to know who I am. She don't even know who you are. If I knock on that door and she answers it, will she even know who you are? No, and I don't want her to know who I am. And she don't know who you are. You had her skull crushed in and her raped and tortured because your family's in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. I seen September 13th, 23, the tape of her and her friend Matt talking about them threatening that agent over her case's life because they thought he was in debt to those drug dealers and it was your family. Yes, I'm sorry. And all those people got human trafficked because your family was in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. Your family human trafficked people because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. Everybody's talked about Michelle's confession. We listened to September of 23 when the original drug cartel admitted to photoshopping everything on her before. Did you know that? Yes. I'm sorry. Did you know her ex-husband even confessed to them that it was a medication error and fraud that made her sick before? And they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years? Yes, I'm sorry. They knew it. Get it? Get an idea? It's a guy from Aslan's family in debt. They're in it with the drug dealer's bets over me. Or you have to bet everything you have in life. Winner takes all. For this whole thing is a bet between two gentlemen. One bet he could be so cruel, he could push her to suicide. The other one bet he could make her give up everything in life and have people participate in this. Winner takes all. Michelle's dad is for bet for his scam for Michelle to get everything like a lady said in Maslin, talking to a group of people. Never even thought, why would Michelle deserve anything? Exactly. And nobody will ever help again. We all heard her admit to human trafficking people. She sold people because they were in debt to drug dealers, but she's sorry. Oh, another thing they said, oh, and you told her new husband's family that they could bash his head and take him out to Youngstown, have him found and competent, and have everything signed over to them. If they had something set up in Youngstown to do stuff like that, it's wrong because you told this family, I know, I'm sorry, but I wanted that land. Yesterday on the 15th, had to go to the bank because that his son Rick has admitted to being in our personal joint checking account and knowing different things. They think maybe he's called in and impersonated Carl with his personal information and getting stuff out of the bank that way. So there's guards up on that now. He gets caught, he's going to go to jail a long time. Do you know attorneys cannot even know your personal banking information? Police and agencies can only get into it with a court order, and then they can't discuss it. Just like your medical records, where they had the scam of a dirty doctor. HIPAA violations, pulling your medical. Some attorney's office had them pull our medical records. They can't. You have to sign consent or stealing medical records. It's a 10-year sentence. There's federal crimes, or there where what was it? It was in July. Actually, August 25th, 25, Hollister's and Summit Mall. Of them making fun of this whole thing as a scam from Bill from Freemasons. He had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Can you imagine that? Laughing. Had other guy take a video of her in the shower washing herself. Can you imagine taping somebody washing themselves and photoshopping that in the other room? And ran a scam off of it and cackling. August 25th, 25. They come in and they're talking about, we heard them making fun of this whole thing from Bill from the Freemasons. Up in Summit Mall, of the dirty doctor scam and not being one of hers worse for them, and they had lied he was one of her doctors. And this whole thing is a scam from Bill from the Freemasons. The cartel's tired of Bill from the Freemasons. We all are. Okay? Well, actually, let me take that back. That was May 25th and May 26th of 25. Because May 30th, 25. I have so many dates going through my head. It's just been an onslaught the last 3 months of hell breaking loose and why all this happened. God of heaven, it's been awful. Absolutely awful. May 30th, 25. 1 o'clock in the morning, the Louisville police show up. They have the tape of Walmart 62 with the cartel admitting this whole scam is a scam from Bill from the Freemasons. Got it from Walmart 62. So we're talking May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, the Louisville police found it. They found the original case that my ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he was an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it don't. It makes it worse illegal. Oh, I know, because it says right on Google, if attorney sets up body cameras in their home, they're to be disbarred and criminally charged with cyberstalking, felony invasion of privacy. If they drug you for a fake confession, it's pharmaceutical torture. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements, with a court order, without a conflict of interest. There's nothing else. It's the right to privacy of your home. You have a right to remain quiet. No one can drug you for any kind of confession. No coerced confession is admissible. You also have the right to remain quiet and the right to an attorney. They have lied to people. They can do all this. So, yeah. So, May 25th, 25. May 26th, 25, and May 30th, 25. I want to pull that one. Then if you go July 24th, 25, an investigator on a motorcycle from 18 was talking that they did a body ratio of the tape of weird with yourself. It wasn't even you. Wasn't even her. I forgot how big Karen was when the case first started. We did a body ratio. It is somebody showering, but they put Karen's head on somebody else's body washing. July 25th, 25. Some idiots got smart with me and Bob Evans, and I blew up. Drove over to Walmart 62. Investigators from 18 came in. I told the couple never say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. So did all our boys. Well, they're supposed to have her drugged and taped saying that they did it. They already admitted they drugged me and told me to say it years ago. Repeatedly. August 4th, 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on me. That's why I had a mental taste on my mouth and no memory of these people. August 5th, 25, Dutch Valley Restaurant, as if Agent John didn't know they weren't using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped before the case started, and he didn't care. And he even let them torture her as he's some kind of coward. August 7th, 25, Walmart 62. They have the tape of them calling Agent John a coward. And them admitting to drugging me and telling me to say it before. And admitting to using hypnotic drugs on me. That's why I have no memory of these people. August 30th, 25, up in Macy's in Summit Mall. Upstairs, a guy answered the phone and his document verified they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and that's why she has no memory of these people and a mental taste in her mouth. Then people talking all over the mall. I go back up there, that's the one her ex-husband's girlfriend's dad and his friends ran a drug scam on. Nobody say a word. Good idea. Now I want you, where they said that guy Maslin is trying to prove that Agent John defrauded me. We got to think I called the hotline. Cried my eyes out. Have an agent call you back. Next day the phone's ringing. I'm so drugged up I can't wake up all the way. Rivers of tears running down my face. What's that? I fell back to sleep. So drugged up I couldn't stand up straight. Holding on to the wall to get to the bathroom, get to the refrigerator, got back in bed, listened to the voicemail. This is Agent da-da-da, call me back, I can't. I fell back to sleep. Okay, listen, I woke up later and I listened to it. This is Agent, da-da-da-da-da, call me back. And I fell back to sleep. I know I just repeated myself, sorry. Next day I wasn't much better. Kept falling asleep. Okay. Third day I made myself get up. Holding my head. Felt like I was drunk and I don't drink. And I'm trying to get enough air in my face. I gotta call that guy back. I gotta clear my head. What is wrong with me again? Got enough air in my face. I called one of my witnesses. I gave the hotline. So, and she said she'd witness for me. So I went out and bought a card, put that agent's number in it, made an excuse to go down to Belden Village, went to the store she worked at and dropped it off. Her manager put it in her locker. And we went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer, the minister up there, you got into his face in front of hundreds of people. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off real quick. How dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life? Women walk up, she's being drugged, being raped, and he said, I didn't care. I lost 18 pounds, covered in bruises, severely infected. I thought the well water was giving me cancer. It was orange. We had it tested. It had high levels of iron in it. Okay. And they said I wouldn't do anything. But I thought it was giving me cancer. We're not up there a week or two, and I'm covered in orange, lemon, grapefruit size bruises. The only thing I did is take a shower, dry off, get in bed, and I wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit size bruises, severely infected, throwing up, headache, heart racing, almost passing out. And or I'd be fine some mornings, and I'd get up and go work outside, come in, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, and have a 2-liter Diet Coke pour glass. Sit on the coffee table, go in and use the bathroom, and wash my hands better, come out, take a drink in the room, and go to the exact same thing. And I thought the well water I was washing in was killing me. People have even came up to me and said, it's something she don't even remember them coming up and stabbing her with those drugs and injecting her. Those drugs work so fast. No, I don't. And where is that funny? Okay? All right. So we're going to get back to what was happening at Apostolic Church of Barberton. Women come up, she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises, lost 18 pounds, severely infected. My heart's sinking in my stomach. I thought it was the well water. I go in and sit down. They come in and sit behind me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped, and he said he didn't care. He said if she was going to be faking, she was like the strangest lie to cover up Tim and Katie. Well, that family was grieving, the one that her father killed her kid 6 months before I got well. Or no, 6 months before Strange made up that lie. And about, 2 or 3 months before I finished getting well. Took me 9 months to get well. Her father that ran a stop sign into a semi-speeding in front of people, killed himself and their son. Those people. Said, that family was grieving. He didn't care what they did to her. And if she was going to be mean to their women, mean to who? I already told the hotline. I didn't have anything to do with those people. The only reason why I knew it was them and say this one girl was breaking in the mall to people I knew that it was her church trying to kill me. That I didn't have anything to do with them in years. No contact. So they knew they were lying. If she's going to be mean to her women, he's going to turn it back over to him. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go, we get out in the car. You called the FBI on me. I'd have killed you myself. I yelled back at him. I said, what'd you expect? These people trying to kill me and then threaten my life? What did you expect me to do? I'd have killed you myself. Goes for a loaded gun. I put my hand on the council and beat me all the way home, and I ran from him. Rivers of tears the next morning. Everybody knows I called the FBI. I called that agent. You talk about a mean, scary agent. I call him and I tell him someone told me, you liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. You liar. Was there a camera above the bench or not? I don't know. When you heard that guy's voice, I don't know. Dear God, I tried to stay alive. I almost passed out. I'm a little old lady when he threatened to knife me. I was already dizzy from being drugged up. And I said, I don't know. He said, you better say you're lying or I'll arrest you. I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. And before I can say Terry Coverly seen him, he's like, oh, come on now. Even if a church person seen him, they'd never verify it. That's why I didn't tell him about Terry. He said, I've met with that family in my office, the one her father murdered their kid. And all those church people, and I know they're trying to kill you because... And he says, stranger liar called me a faker from 15 years ago. I said, I really was sick before. He's like, you liar. He's like, you either say you're lying or I'll arrest you. And I said, what? He said, was there a camera above that bench or not? And he's yelling at me. I don't know. You say you're lying, I'll put you in jail. I'm going to come up and arrest you. Now, you either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. It's like, fine, whatever. Ha! Recorded line. Like the investigator, one of the investigators said, I listened to it. I actually talked to her like that. I almost fell out of my chair. Recorded line. He said, no, I want you to see you're faking you were sick. I said, I really was sick. Dear God, I almost died. I said, I really was sick before. He's like, you liar. I met with that family in my office that lost their kid in that traffic accident. The one that our father killed the kid. And all those church people, I know they're trying to kill you. Conspiracy to commit murder is a federal crime. Why didn't you arrest him? Good question, huh? Attempted murder is a federal crime too. And you arrest him. I know they're trying to kill you. He says, strangers like call me a faker. I said, I really was sick before. You need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually says that. I said, I really was sick before. You say it or I'll leave you there. But they'll kill me. Please don't let him kill me. He's like, you better say it or I'll leave you there. It's like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Ah. He admitted everybody knew. He had him in his office. They already confessed to him they were trying to kill me. He didn't arrest him. He's like, why would that be? I help a person like you. Well, they're going to try to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. And the other agent said we could always use Pete's tape of Weird with Yourself. The shower scene in the other room. I don't even know who Pete is. Found out it's some guy Dave hired on his own. It's photoshopped. It's a bitch move. Stocking tapes. I said, what are you talking about? Stop. She don't know. And he's laughing at me. I don't even know who you're talking about. He said something else about Pete, and I've never met him, so it has to be a black and blue mark. I said, what are you talking about? He said, stop. She don't know. Oh, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor. Well, like Michelle told an agent March 27th, 25, and then repeated it April 17th, 25. That doctor from before was never one of hers. He works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors, and she actually don't know who he is. And he says, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor. I said, I don't even know who it is. And he starts laughing. Stop. She don't know. Still don't know. And he said, give me a real reason. Well, I told him about my brother-in-law, Craig, that died working under Dick Cheney, working for the government. He said, first of all, if you talk to any law enforcement about threats on your life, and I said, the only two officers I've ever talked to was August 8 of 18, midnight, a light in the security system called 911. They were silly. I call them silly or stupid. They told me it looked like an alien orb. Angry spirit told me buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They won't bother. You're kidding, right? And I said, no, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've only had family repair guys and installation guys and those two officers. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, what's going on? Do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, well, I think he's cheating, but I've never caught him. He starts laughing. She said she never caught him. I've never caught him. Dave verified that. December 9th of 18. Never caught him. There's always rumors, but I never caught him. Why is that funny? It's not. He said I could take you somewhere and leave you with no money. I have no money to start. Well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, I can open an informant program. I said, I can do that. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally dated against you again, and only for you would we ever do this for. Always put it back as if it never happened. And you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. You raised the case. I have one traffic ticket from 1989, and I paid my ticket, and it's almost been 40 years. And so squeaky clean, it's not even funny. Get the idea? He said, I loaded the money, you'll get $5,000 a month. I loaded the money on a card. You'll have that money to live on. He said, admit to no wrongdoing and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you, he said, if you try to tell somebody, now he's already admitted he talked to everybody knows. You try to tell someone, the FBI won't help you. And I'll tell